Thank you, Steve, and good evening, everyone. Welcome again, and congratulations. It's really a privilege to welcome you and your sons to our school community. And Jesuit is a school community that I've personally been a part of since 1997, when I was a ninth grader at Jesuit. And so, like many of your sons, and maybe some of you, during 8th grade, I attended open house. I sat for the entrance exam, and I eagerly awaited the decision. My younger brother did as well. So I know how excited you are, and I know how excited your sons are for right now and for next year and the next 4 years. But the end of middle school and the beginning of high school is a challenging time. I've experienced this as a parent recently as well. My daughter is now in 9th grade. It comes with a wide range of emotions. Lots of joy, but also some nervousness, some anticipation, some uncertainty of what's to come. So this evening, I'd like to start with the end in mind. May of 2028, 4 years from now, your son will be preparing for the end of his senior year. He'll be looking forward to moving on to college. He will most likely already have been accepted and selected a college. And if you were to ask the parents of our current seniors, I'm confident that most would say it will be here before you know it. By that time, our hope is that your son's time at Jesuit has helped form him into a strong young man, hitting all the points of the mission statement that Father Hermes already referenced. Open to growth, intellectually competent, religious, loving, and just. So how do we get there? Your nervous, eager, awkward 8th grade son, how do we get him onto that stage in 4 years? I think it begins by understanding that you aren't just sending your sons to Jesuit for school. We take a lot of pride in our academics. We take a lot of pride in our academic program here, but we're not just a school. This is a partnership between you, the parents, us, the administration, our teachers, our coaches, our club moderators, our volunteers. And really, you're entrusting all of us with your sons, with his development in athletics and extracurriculars, obviously with his education and intellectual development, but most importantly, his formation as a person, as a young man. Over the next 4 years, your son will spend more time with us than he'll spend with you. And we take all of these responsibilities seriously. And we don't take for granted the trust that you're putting in all of us and in this school. A few other really important points of context. First, it's important, as Father mentioned, to establish that our standard here is our Jesuit identity. We are a school located in Hillsborough County, but we're not a county school. We're located in the Diocese of St. Petersburg, and we have a great relationship with our bishop and with our diocese, but we are not a diocesan school. And we are not just another independent private school and all that comes along with that. We're part of a global network of Jesuit schools that includes 750,000 students worldwide. We're part of the Jesuit Schools Network, which includes 43 other Jesuit high schools in North America and Belize and Puerto Rico. Similar to us in many ways, but each of these Jesuit schools is also unique to its own area, its own history, its own context. So we have our own unique Jesuit standards and benchmarks for accreditation and sponsorship, and these give us the freedom, which is harder to come by nowadays, to remain true to our Catholic and Jesuit identity. In many ways, Jesuit's a school on the move. We are committed to providing our students with the knowledge, skills, and expectations that are necessary to be successful. We don't shy away from wanting our students to achieve and succeed, but also to serve others in the modern world. But this is not an end unto itself. Being successful, making money, winning awards, doing things, acquiring things, shiny projectors and nice buildings, these are not ends unto themselves. And one of the many things that I've come to love about Jesuit education and about this Jesuit high school is one of the things that I believe sets us apart. Father Hermes just alluded to the fact that Jesuit schools have essentially been in business for 500 years. We have very deep roots, going back for a very long time. And these deep roots, and I emphasize the word deep, are vitally important because they keep us grounded. We're always going to look for a better way to do something. We always want to find a better way to serve our students and our families. But our deep roots, our Jesuit history grounds us, and it prevents us from falling prey to fads and trends that pass through education in waves every 7, 8, 9 years. You know, it's like a clock, just back and forth a lot of the time. And we're aware of best practices. We keep up with modern trends. But ultimately, we keep focus on our deep Jesuit and Ignatian roots. Ignatian pedagogy, Jesuit education, our methodology is tried, it's true, it's withstood the test of time. That all sounds great, but like, what does that actually mean, right? I mean, it's just word salad unless it has some substance behind it. It starts with something that I preach constantly to our teachers, our coaches, our athletes, our students, everybody. Would be our standards, our very, very, very high standards. First with ourselves. Okay? We try to hold ourselves as administrators and teachers and coaches and adults to as high a standard as possible. We can't hold your sons to a high standard if we don't hold ourselves to a high standard. And these standards align by design with the formation that we aim to provide with our students. High standards academically, high standards athletically, spiritually, in the arts, for decorum, comportment, personal appearance, behavior, all of these things. And right now, or in a brochure or on an admissions tour perhaps, high standards sound awesome. They sound really good, right? High standards are great, especially when you see them being applied to other people's kids, right? But keep in mind that what comes along with all of this, and this is hard for many students and families, are challenges, setbacks, difficulties. We are a challenging environment by design. We are a challenging school. We are a challenging athletic program. We push our students extracurricularly in the arts and theater, even with spiritual formation. We don't want comfort. Through facing, embracing these difficulties, these challenges, really anything that a boy or a young man between the ages of 14 and 18 could possibly experience. Through facing these challenges, students, young men, they grow. They learn how to deal with failure. They learn that mom and dad can't and hopefully won't save them. By figuring out how to muster up inner strength, building up resiliency, persevering. We want our guys to stand on their own 2 feet. And as hard as it is, and again, I'm a parent of a high schooler myself, we can't fight our kids' battles for them. They have to learn how to fight their own. And while from time to time as parents we can provide love and support, ideally, by the time they hit that stage for graduation, our expectation is that they're walking on their own. Because most of them will be walking on their own at college. You'll be a phone call away, not 30 yards away in your house, right? This is how young men learn. It's how they develop confidence. So in other words, in the next 4 years, your son will struggle. I guarantee it. If he doesn't struggle, we're not doing our jobs. Or he's like the 1 in 10 million kids walking around out there. I don't know. A Little League All-Star will get cut. His heart will be broken. A straight A student will get his first B, maybe even a C. And that will be hard. That'll be hard for him. It'll be really hard for you. And that's okay. It's normal. It's part of the deal. That's why you're sending your sons here. There's no magic wands at Jesuit. I mean, there's no gimmies. There's no magic wand that gets waved. And we take a lot of pride in making sure that our students get what they earn. No more, no less. There's no magic dust to sprinkle on someone that can make him a good student, that can make him a good person. And there's no lever that we can pull as a school or that you can pull to make your son's challenges go away. Nothing can be done sometimes, and that's okay. But at the same time, and this is really important, Jesuit is not a sink or swim school. I just talked for a few minutes about struggling and all those things, but we're not, some Ruth, whatever that thing is called, Ruth machine. We're not a school full of booby traps where we're trying to set kids up for failure. There's no smoke-filled room where we sit with the teachers to try to figure out how to, take away points from your son. That's not how it goes. We are a school that is a community. This is not a place where kids have to figure it out on their own. Okay, we are a school where everyone takes care of each other, where every boy, every young man is known by name. Seriously, they're known by name. And there are tremendous resources in place to make sure that any student who walks into this school can be successful. We wouldn't take them if we didn't believe and we didn't know they could be successful. So any student who comes to this school that's willing to do the work and strain and work on being a better person, they could be successful here. Our faculty and staff are awesome. They work tirelessly to challenge our students, to make class fun, to make classroom experiences exciting. And administratively, we're just in this constant cycle of self-analysis, evaluation, adjustment, action, improvement. We're always trying to do better. We're always trying to do more. Not surprisingly, there's a Jesuit word for that, an Ignatian word, a Latin word. It's called the magis, right? We love our Latin. So the sum of collective experiences that your son will live between now and the end of May 2028 will lead to the creation of lifelong relationships with classmates, teammates, friends, and, believe it or not, even his teachers, even his coaches. And these relationships, rooted in common experience, yes, but most importantly in Christ and in our school's mission, are visible to anybody walking around our campus or in our alumni. And you'll find that your son's Jesuit education doesn't stop when he graduates. Walking across the stage is just the beginning. Hopefully, they're not so good at appreciation and gratitude in these years, but hopefully he'll learn to appreciate his Jesuit education the older he gets, and someday when he's a husband and a father and even a grandfather. Okay, so that all sounds good, but looking ahead to the coming months, like what's important? Like, all right, get to it, right? Enough with the platitudes. So, look, some really important expectations and deadlines, priorities, I would say, for you as parents. Really important here, right? And then at the end, a few suggestions about how your son can start to immerse himself in our school community, how we can start to get involved before August. In a few minutes, our CFO, Mr. Chuck Leonard, will talk about deadlines for submitting just baseline requirement important items like birth certificates, health forms, those sorts of things. I would just really ask for your attention and urgency in getting these important documents turned in by the deadline to complete the enrollment process. It's really important. The last thing that anybody wants is to be stressing about a birth certificate in the middle of June or immunization. I mean, it's just a mess. So just, deadline is there. I would ask if you could just turn them in. Also, again, this is in the future, a few months down the road, but 8th grade transcripts, right? We need those by June 28th. Many of you, and I know because my office is next to ours, have already begun the process of course selection, course placement, exchanging emails with Mrs. Pacheco, asking questions, trying to, work through the Temple of Doom that can be the math curriculum. As summer approaches, you will receive information about athletics and extracurricular activities. A really important date, Father Hermes mentioned this earlier, May 11th. Please circle it on your calendars, very important. It's Freshman Welcome Day. This is our first opportunity to bring the class together on campus. There's a mass, there's activities where they get to start to meet other people, try to break them up from their middle school cliques and help them meet some new people. They also get to meet some Jesuit coaches and staff members too. It's a great day. And there's food. There's always food. Summer. Summer is a great time to begin working on community service hours. Your son needs 10 next year, and then it doubles, 10, 20, 40, 80. But he can start working on his 9th grade service hours in the summer before 9th grade starts. So, there are resources in place here for the school. We have a director of community service. I recommend reaching out to him. This will all be communicated to you in the coming weeks and months. But it's a great idea to start your Jesuit career off by getting some service hours over the summer. All incoming freshmen will also be able to sign up for our Summer JAX program. It's a Jesuit athletic conditioning camp. And it runs for a number of weeks over the summer. It's a fantastic way for your son to make new friends. Nothing helps you make new friends like sprinting in 98-degree heat and being yelled at by a coach that you don't know. It's really designed to help rising 9th graders learn the basics of a high school strength and conditioning program. There are, I don't want to say most, but a lot of them can't even bench press the bar. That's okay. So if your son can't run a mile, if he's never lifted weights, if he, is tall and skinny like me, that's fine. It's not a problem. This could be a fine way, a great way to jumpstart an interest or some knowledge in physical fitness for his high school career. Thank you in advance for the trust that you're putting in our school, in me as principal, and all the other administrators, for our teachers. Thank you for the awesome responsibility that you're giving to us. I really look forward, first of all, to getting to know each of your sons. I love spending time with the freshmen. I look forward to getting to know you as well and to being able to serve you, to serve you as parents, as Jesuits principal over the next 4 years. And so really more than anything else, just welcome. It's great to have you here. Welcome you and your sons into the nearly 450-year tradition of Jesuit education. So thank you and welcome to Jesuit.